So once again we're back into the world of Wreckfest, as it's just had a new content update. And this one is actually pretty important, not because it reinvents the game, but because it finally starts to feel like Wreckfest 2 is finding its identity. We've got 2 brand new cars, a new track with multiple layouts, and most importantly in my opinion, a new challenge mode that feels like a proper evolution of what Wreckfest has always done best. And that now means there's actually single player content. Now yes, this update also includes a huge list of physics tweaks, audio changes, AI improvements and technical physics, but today I want to focus mainly on the actual playable content, the stuff you're going to boot the game up for. So let's break it down. We've got the Grandstar American minivan, the Phaser Asian coupe, the Morfeld track, and the new challenge mode, including that final challenge that, in my opinion, is absolutely brutal. So let's get into it. Now before we dive into both of the cars, if you're a fan of Wreckfest and new racing games, then why not hit that subscribe button and tap the bell for notifications to stay up to date with my future uploads. And whilst you're at it, if you want to be the first to hear about upcoming projects or just come and talk about cool games, then join my Discord server using the link in the description below. I also run occasional giveaways there, so all the more reason to join. Anyway, let's talk about the Grandstar, the American people carrier. It's a car that I didn't really expect. It's a full-blown American minivan kind of thing, and it fits perfectly into the game, to be honest. At first glance, it's exactly what you think it is: long, heavy, boxy, and about as aerodynamic as a fridge. But once you get it on track, it becomes clear that the Grandstar is less of a joke vehicle and more of a strategic wrecking tool. Well, the car is not fast, so let's get that out of the way immediately. Acceleration isn't great, top speed is nothing special, and cornering does require some planning, not reactions. You don't flick this thing, you commit to it. But where it shines is its momentum and mass. Once you get it rolling, this car absolutely bulldozes lighter cars. In contact-heavy races or derby-style events, it feels like driving, well, a suburban battering ram. And thanks to the recent physics adjustments, the weight feels more believable, the suspension movement is more consistent, and collisions feel heavier without being floaty. You really notice that stripped down beta philosophy here. The van feels tough, but not indestructible. Now onto the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we have the Phaser. It's a lightweight Asian car and feels like it was added specifically to balance out the heavier new addition to the roster. The Phaser is quick off the line, light on its feet, and very responsive in corners. Compared to the Grandstar, this thing feels like a scalpel. Steering input is immediate, weight transfer is noticeable but controlled, and it rewards smooth driving more than brute force. It's not the fastest car in the game, at least I don't think it is, but it feels fast, and that matters in Wreckfest, especially with the updated suspension and surface physics. On bumpy tracks and off-road sections, the Phaser dances around where heavier cars might struggle. Of course, the downside is decreased durability. It can't take hits as well, loses momentum easily after collisions, and suffers badly in traffic-heavy starts. Unless of course you just pull around the outside and do what I do. This is a car that thrives when you can avoid the chaos, pick clean lines, and let the competition wreck each other. And I have to say I really like it, it's a cool car. So let's talk about Morfeld, the new track they added into this update. Honestly, it's one of the better track additions we've seen so far. Morfeld features both a racer route and a crasher route. Both layouts share the same core environment, a muddy field, but they obviously play very differently. The setting is classic Wreckfest, open terrain, plenty of room for things to go horribly wrong, and I have to say visually, the mud looks absolutely fantastic. Like, I'm really impressed, it really shows off what this game is capable of doing. The track itself is fairly simple but enjoyable, the crash route is fun, especially when the chaos unfolds, but oh man, the visuals on this track, they just really show how far this game has come. I'm really happy with it. I did notice some very light pop-in on parts of the track when I looked behind me. I don't think that was happening in the previous update, but I'm sure that will get sorted out. Anyway, yeah, it's a good track, nice addition, looks really good, fun to play. The racer route is surprisingly technical. It's not about raw speed, it's about managing the traction and navigating the mud, surviving long enough to finish clean. With the new off-road bumpiness and tyre behaviour, Morfeld's mostly dirt sections feel genuinely kind of challenging, and I think the new Phaser car shines here, so they kind of complement each other. The Crasher route is where things get stupid in the best way possible. This layout introduces more intersections and some risky lines. Constant opportunities for crashing, basically. So, the Grandstar feels right at home here, of course. Use it as a battering ram, destroy everything. If you enjoy Wreckfest for the chaos rather than the lap times, then this route absolutely delivers. It's unpredictable without being unfair, and every lap feels different depending on traffic and how far ahead or behind you may be. Now let's talk about, at least in my eyes, what the real headline feature of this update is. The challenge mode. I'm a big fan of single player content, and Wreckfest 2 was kinda lacking in that. So this adds 10 new challenges, and while they are described as bite-sized, don't let that fool you. These are relatively short events, yes, but they do demand precision, adaptability, and in some cases, well in one case, near perfect execution. The challenge mode includes short races and derby events, as well as a skill-based scenario that is a time trial. They're designed to be jump in, jump out experiences, focusing on mastering a specific mechanical situation, like one specific car. And for the most part they succeed. The early challenges ease you in nicely with reasonable objectives, forgiving margins and clear goals, and it means that you get to try out a bunch of different cars that maybe you wouldn't play as normally because the game gives you one preset car per event. And I do really like when racing games do this, because otherwise I would just use the same car over and over that I'm comfortable with. However, up until the final challenge, the difficulty feels fair. Challenging at times, yes, but definitely manageable. Mistakes usually cost you time or position, not the entire run. But then you hit the final challenge. This last challenge is a time trial. It's honestly just completely unforgiving. I thought I had major skill issues, and I actually ended up posting a Steam discussion, messaging some friends, just to see if I was the only person being indescribably bad. But I wasn't being indescribably bad, this is just a really hard time trial. You have to do this track in 40 seconds. I kept getting like 40.009 and it was so frustrating. Honestly, I must have spent about 2 hours overall doing this, and that probably is a bit of a skill issue on my half, but when you've been doing it so many times, you just start to lose concentration. Anyway, there's zero tolerance for mistakes. One bad corner will literally ruin the entire thing. Thankfully, it's only 40 seconds, so if you do mess it up, it's not like you have to wait minutes and minutes to start again. But the challenge demands perfect braking points, perfect racing lines, and full understanding of how the car it chooses works. There's no room for overcorrecting or panic inputs. And because of how Wreckfest handles weight transfer and surface grip, I would say that even experienced players might struggle a little bit to hit that time early on. I was absolutely convinced that I may never be able to do it, but this morning, just before recording this video, I finally hit that time with a 39.9 something. And honestly, I'm very satisfied. So, it is doable, it just seems like such a random difficulty spike for the final challenge. It's frustrating, but as I mentioned, deeply satisfying when you finally nail it. So this update doesn't add loads of cars or massive new systems, but it does something arguably more important. It expands the car roster meaningfully, introduces a strong new track, and lays the foundation for a challenge mode that could become a core feature with additional challenges added. Both the Grandstar and Phaser are really cool and add some real variety. Morfeld is a solid replayable circuit, and the challenge mode proves that Wreckfest 2 can support skill-focused content as well as chaos. So overall, yeah, this is a strong content update. If this is the direction that Wreckfest 2 continues to go, then the future of this game looks very promising. Let me know, if you've played it yet, which car you've been enjoying more, and whether you've beaten that time trial yet, or if it ruined your life for a bit like it did mine. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press like, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe and tap that bell for notifications to stay up to date with my future uploads. A massive shout out to my Patreon subscribers for the continued support, and all I really have left to say is thanks, and bye bye.